My name's Matt Dass. I'm the Managing Director of Springfield Solutions, and up until the 1st of July last year, we were an independent reprographics and digital print business, which was started by my dad in 1975. On the 1st of July, we became part of the All for Labels Global Packaging Group, which is who you can see up there. And the reason that we became part of the larger group was because we had a shared mission, and that's to be the leader in the supply of innovative, sustainable digital packaging assets. So we're here today to talk about artificial intelligence, which I'm going to introduce James in a little bit later on, and we're going to try and do some live demonstrations. So that's why we needed the internet connection, so bear with us. Hopefully it'll work. We do have a video as a backup. But before I do, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background, a little bit of history into our business, and in particular how we've got to where we've got to, and where we see artificial intelligence playing a part in our future. So, who was around in the 90s? Put your hands up. Good, most of us. That's great. This is our IT infrastructure in 1991. And the diagram in the middle is our PURUP system. Does anybody remember PURUP? One of the first, yeah, good, got a couple here. So we've got one of the first graphics systems that allowed you to digitize artworks for the packaging industry. We had an input scanner here which allowed us to scan in our transparencies. We would feed it into our massive, huge computers, which looked like that. And then we would output it on our film processor. But it was the first foray into digital packaging assets in the early 90s. That obviously followed with the Apple Macintosh and desktop publishing as we know it today, really, with Adobe. We was using freehand and Quark and all those things back in the day. And I actually trained as a reprographics artist. I served my time as an apprentice reprographics artist working on one of these machines. And this was our IT room, roughly around about the same time. One thing we did explore really early on was the ISDN. So some of you will remember ISDN in a way in which we could transfer digital files from point to point, sort of the forerunner before the internet came along and sort of revolutionized how we transfer files. So we've had a rich history in digital packaging production, and the reason that we have is because we see it as a way of being more efficient, stripping out processes. So we was able to go from a hand planning cameras process to straight to the computer, and then we took out the film and we went straight to plate. This is my dad and my business partner, and this was one of the first installations of a computer to plate system in Europe. And our first job that we did on that was for Asda, and it was for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza label, which was apple crumble flavoured, apparently, so they tell me. And that brings us more or less up to speed to today. So we still have our reprographics, our brand management team that are creating all of these digital packaging artworks for a lot of different FMCG businesses, but we've now really expanded our print division. So we got into print in the mid-90s with the first Omnius Indigo, before Indigo was HP. So we bought that in 1996, and then we've gone on with lots of different Indigos, and we now have 5 inkjet screen, Dynippon screen presses with associated finishing. So we're getting away from the film, we're getting away from the plate, we're going straight from the computer to the presses, and you can see there we printed just over 216 million labels for lots of different industries. So obviously sat behind that is what we call the hidden art of reprographics. So that anybody can buy a digital printing press. You know, they are becoming more affordable, but it's the infrastructure that sits behind that, and it's how efficient you can be to get to that point to press print and go. So obviously, appreciate I'm at a print conference, and I'm going to talk a little bit now about how you create files for print. So just bear with me, but in a really simplistic term, we get the artwork, we understand the customer specifications and printer requirements. So we don't only print our own artworks, we supply artworks for over 200 printers across the world that are printing flexo, dry offset, gravure, litho, you name it, we'll repro the file for that process. So we'll input all that system, and then it comes out in the various formats that they require. And actually what's going on is our ESCO automation engine. So that we've talked a lot today about machine learning and things like that. So this is what's going on, which obviously looks quite complicated on there. So if we take this artwork, so this is an example artwork that we've created. It's our own brand of lemonade, as you can see there. And instead of it being Hawaii in the background, it's actually the Humber Bridge, because we're based in Hull. And if we take that artwork, this is how it would work with our customers. So they would upload an artwork to our online portal. That would then hit our ESCO automation engine, do all of the pre-flighting, that's all automated. So this isn't touched by a human hand. So our customer uploads the file, and then it hits this workflow. And it's going through various checks in here. It's looking at minimum font size, it's looking at cutter guides, it's looking at trim boxes, separations, etc. Once it's done this, it'll then come back with a report to say yes or no. At that point, there is some intervention from our operators. We'll release it to be stepped, which is then automatically stepped and repeat for the width of our presses. And then we'll do one final check, which is a manual check, just to make sure that the colour separations are right. We had a spot varnish on here, we have a digital spot varnish, so we're just checking that. And then that's on the printing press, ready to print. So we've streamlined that front end quite a lot. We are now talking to ESCO about the implementation of artificial intelligence on that, and how we could move that forward beyond machine learning. So, this is where it gets exciting, because we don't know whether it's going to work or not. But a bit of jeopardy never hurt anybody. So I'm going to introduce my colleague here now, James. I say my colleague because we've got a sister company, which is Eon Visual Media. We work with Eon on innovative projects, and we sort of send them to one side so they don't disrupt the day-to-day production of what's going on within the Springfield business. So I've been working with James for the last 12 months on a number of tools, haven't we, James?
We have. You've just stolen everything I was going to say.
Sorry, yeah, and I thought I might do, yeah. This is James.
Can everybody hear me? Yeah, got my mic on, good. Yes, I'm James. As Matt said, I work for Eon Visual Media. We're a sister, partner, whatever you want to call it, with Springfield. We were once upon a time part of the same business, so going back all those 20 years, we got our name from being the electronic and online division of Springfield Solutions. So we were very close. There was a management buyout. We became our own separate company, and we have our own range of clients, but we still work very closely with Springfield. And as Matt touched on, work on your typical digital marketing activities. So we created their website, we create video content, all of their social media content for them as well. But really big on innovation. Passed on through Matt, both companies are big on innovation, but it's something that we push a lot. And so in the last 5 years, we've worked a lot on connected pack, augmented reality executions with Springfield Solutions, and latterly, we are now looking at how they can use artificial intelligence within their business. So as you can imagine, we've talked about quite a few different applications of AI within print. One that we've decided to focus on, partly because we're from a creative digital agency, but is that creative angle, and Matt touched a little bit on repro. How many people have tried, Midjourney? How many people have tried Midjourney? Text to image creation. Cool.
Yeah, few of you. Good.
Okay, great. Well, obviously as a creative agency, we have been using Adobe's suite of tools for forever and a day, and Adobe have released their own AI tools, some generative text to image. There's also a couple of others, text to text effects, and you can do, mine's gone blank, but there's a couple of others as well that they've released. We're going to try text to image today, and we're going to try it live. So this artwork that Matt showed you earlier, that's been done by a designer, but we're going to try and recreate that a little bit with AI. So take that in, think of some relevant words. I'm going to move over to Adobe Firefly.
Yeah, so imagine that as the end result, but put yourself in the shoes of the designer from a brief that's been given to create a Springfield lemonade that's incorporating some of the things that, you know, we have. So shout some words out that you've seen on that label. Sorry? Humber Bridge. Pardon? Hull. We're going to just see a picture of Hull now. But what was it? What was it? Postcard? But what? Lemonade.
Sunset.
Postcard, lemonade, sunset.
Avenues.
Pardon?
Avenues.
Pardon?
The avenues.
The Avenues in Hull. Oh, nice. Yeah, you've got a local there, yeah. Flowers, yeah, flowers.
Labels.
Label, yeah, obviously, it's a label, packaging. No. Ignore the cat. That was our test.
I think we maybe try that.
Lemonade. You just got lemonade spelled
Sorry,
wrong.
that's what have I got?
You've got that.
In the right place there.
Yeah, that's it. Lemonade. That's it. Yeah. So we'll hit generate. Have we still got an internet connection? Yeah, we have. Good. Thank good. Yeah, so that's going away now. Using Adobe's AI, and bang, there you go. We've got some nice inspiration there to start creating our artworks from. Not sure that's the Humber Bridge. But yeah, so it's given us a starting point. So you could see how you could make that jump from some inspiration as a designer to creating a piece of artwork. And then, did you want to touch on the other bits, James? The variations that you can do.
Yeah, so as you can see, that's not quite perfect. And as Matt alluded to, we're primarily using it as a fast way to be inspired. So getting inspiration from this is much quicker than your traditional searching of Google or any other types of, because you can be a lot more accurate. But yeah, once you've got your starting point, you can obviously refine the words that you've given it, your text prompts further, but there are also tools built in. It's tricky because I can't actually see the screen on my monitor, but there are tools.
So it's done it as an art type there, but you could actually click on photo underneath it. You've hit portrait there. One down a bit.
Read it from here. What we got? Okay.
Never work with children, animals, or AI is going to be a new thing that they're going to bring in. So, yeah, click on the photo and then you can generate again, can't you? So this will give us an image that's more photorealistic now, as opposed to being more arty, if you like.
You can also give it a reference image as well. So if you've got an image that you've seen that you like, you can feed it that and it will try and produce similar results. And you can also choose your favorite one out of the options that it gives you, and it will refine based on that as well.
So that's a good example of how we're using it from a creative point of view at the moment. I always use the comparison of, you know, running a running race. It's sort of cheating on the training bit. You've still got to run the race. You've still got to get to the start line. And I think it allows you to get to the start line a hell of a lot faster using some of these tools than some of the more traditional tools that we've used in the past. So you can see how a designer would take that and then be able to create the designs. If we jump back to the presentation, James, this came out the week before, and it was from Getty Images. So Getty Images obviously own the rights to their images. So they've created their own AI out of their own images, because then they can say it's commercially safe to use those. So there's a lot of talk around that at the moment. There's a lot of discussions taking place. Probably people in this audience know better than I will about the UK government and the US government discussions that are taking place. But just finally, I'm just going to finish on this, which is one of our labels. This is one of our healthcare customers, a customer called B Health. They make a range of different vitamins, supplements, products. And this is obviously something called marine collagen. I know all about collagen, getting into my 40s. Apparently it depletes a lot, so you need to take a lot of this stuff. And this has also got vitamin C on it. But we, as I said earlier, we've got a digital spot varnish, and some of our customers like to use that to give more of a haptic feel to their labels and their packaging and a better look. So they sent this to us and they said what we would like to see in the black, in the background, is something that was related to the sea, related to marine. So our designer went into Firefly and he types in 3 words: waves, sea, and for some reason he put soft. I don't know why, but that's what he put. Anyway, it came up with that image that you can see in the middle there. And what you're actually seeing on screen now is the spot varnish plate for that job. So we took that image, we vectorized the image, we changed it a little bit just to make sure that we was commercially safe, and we've printed that. So this is the actual product here, and I've got some labels here. So that's what you can actually see on the screen there with that textured spot varnish that's been created using artificial intelligence. So you can see how we're going to start using that a lot more for some of our customers. And that's all we've got. Thank you.